The city woke up before the sun did. Even on quiet mornings, there was always somewhere to be, something to chase, someone trying to get ahead. People here lived fast lives, measuring success by what they owned, who they stood beside, and how close they were to the future they imagined for themselves. For women, the pressure was louder. Expectations followed them everywhere in love, beauty, money, marriage, timing, and so much more. Some of those expectations felt within reach, others felt impossibly far away. But all of them were constant. Everyone was expected to want more, and no one was expected to admit how heavy that wanting could become. In a city like this, ambition didn't always look pretty. Some people worked patiently toward their goals. Others took shortcuts, and some stopped at nothing to get what they believed they deserved. And Claudia was one of them. Claudia was high maintenance in every sense of the word. She never settled for less, for average, or for anything that didn't meet her standards. Her hair was always done, her nails never chipped, and her wardrobe spoke before she ever opened her mouth. Designer bags rested effortlessly on her arm, luxury perfume lingered wherever she walked, and her lifestyle announced wealth long before introductions were made. She was married to a rich man, a man who believed that keeping his wife happy meant giving her everything she asked for. And Claudia made sure she asked. She maximized every privilege that came with being his wife, from exotic vacations to expensive jewelry, private shopping sprees, and a home that looked more like a resort than a place to live. So when her birthday arrived, there was no question that this wasn't going to be a quiet celebration. It was going to be a spectacle. The venue was dripping in luxury. Crystal chandeliers reflected soft golden light, white roses filled the room with a delicate scent, and tables were draped in silk, their surfaces gleaming with fine glassware. Champagne flowed freely, music hummed just loud enough to feel exclusive, and every detail screamed money. This wasn't just a birthday party. It was a statement. Of course, the guest list was just as carefully curated. Megan, Jade, Rachel, and Brooke. In a sea of guests, they were the familiar faces she sought out first. Their presence wasn't just expected, it was essential. They arrived dressed to impress, each one understanding the unspoken rules of gatherings like this. Parties in their circle were never just about cake or candles. They were opportunities, moments to be seen, remembered, and talked about. Everyone knew first impressions mattered, especially among people who discussed everything once the room cleared. The last thing anyone wanted was to slip up and become the topic of whispered conversations later. Brooke had learned that lesson the hard way. The first time she met the women was during a job. She had been hired as an event planner, called in to help organize a small gathering for one of them. Her work impressed them so much that she was invited to attend a future party as a guest. But when Brooke showed up, she didn't look the part. Her outfit wasn't classy enough by their standards. It lacked the labels, the polish, the effortless luxury the others wore so naturally. And though no one said anything to her face, the judgment lingered all night. Side glances, quiet laughs, critical conversations she wasn't meant to hear but somehow did. They talked about her. Brooke knew it wasn't because she didn't care. She had recently started her own business and was barely keeping up with rent, bills, and daily expenses. Looking expensive simply wasn't a priority she could afford, no matter how much she wanted to. But being around women who lived without financial limits changed something in her. She watched how easily money opened doors, how generosity followed wealth, and how admiration seemed to come not from who you were but from what you had and who you were connected to. She saw how people were willing to spend without hesitation, how luxury softened judgment and commanded respect. And slowly Brooke made a decision. If money was power in this city, then she would stop trying to earn it the hard way. Instead, she would attach herself to it. She began to see relationships not as emotional connections but as opportunities, men who could provide her with the life she couldn't afford on her own. She didn't start out wanting to become that kind of woman. But in a city like this, survival didn't always rely on effort alone. Sometimes it depended on proximity. The party carried on in a glow of music and laughter. Glasses clinked, heels brushed across marble floors, and conversations overlapped in soft, excited waves. The room felt alive, full of movement, attention, and the quiet competition that followed gatherings like this. Claudia moved easily through the crowd, greeting guests, thanking them for coming, and accepting compliments. She saved her friends for last. She always did. Their table was never a quick stop. It was a commitment. When she reached them, she smiled, then immediately noticed what was missing. Rachel was there without her husband, and Jade had come without her boyfriend. Claudia glanced around once more before asking, "So, where are your men?" Rachel let a restrained smile settle on her face. "Joe won't be joining us tonight," she said calmly. "Things haven't been the same with us lately. He questions every decision I make, backs out of plans at the last minute, and makes me feel like my choices are no longer good enough for us. Earlier, he said he didn't feel like going out and preferred to stay home, as if that were somehow better than being here with me." She paused briefly. "I didn't want to cause a scene or let it ruin my evening, so I came on my own." Claudia frowned slightly, disbelief crossing her face. "That doesn't sound like him at all," she said, shaking her head slowly. Her gaze then shifted to Jade. "And what about William?" Jade leaned back, unbothered but attentive. "I didn't want to come with him," she said. "We don't need to do everything or be everywhere together. I wanted the freedom to enjoy myself without anyone hovering, so I didn't invite him." Claudia gave a slight nod in acknowledgement, then turned toward Megan, a light, curious smile tugging at her lips. "So," she asked casually, "is there anyone here you fancy tonight?" Megan's gaze flicked across the room before she gave a small, composed shrug. "Not particularly," she replied. Her tone carried no arrogance, only quiet certainty. "None of them really meet my standards. I'd rather be selective than settle for the bare minimum." Claudia laughed softly and let her eyes wander over the crowd. Megan noticed and arched a brow. "What are you looking for?" "Brooke," Claudia said. "I saw her earlier, but now she's vanished." Rachel scoffed under her breath. "She's probably off chasing some rich man as usual." Claudia lifted a hand, trying to hush her as the other women laughed. But Rachel pressed on undeterred. "It's true, and you all know it. I don't understand how you put up with her. If she wants to pursue men for money, that's her choice, but married men too? No thought for the family she's helping to tear apart. That's just bad taste. Keeping someone like that in our circle only tarnishes our reputation." Claudia stepped in, her voice calm yet firm. "Enough," she said. "Let's leave it. It's not worth the energy." A few moments later, she excused herself, weaving through the room to join her husband, leaving the conversation and the tension behind. The following week, Brooke was home with her roommate, Diane. The apartment was quiet in the familiar way it always was on weekday evenings. Soft music humming in the background, dishes drying neatly on the rack, the distant city noise drifting in through the windows. Diane sat on the couch, scrolling absently on her phone, her expression distant and unfocused. Brooke noticed immediately. "You've been quiet all night," she said, leaning against the counter. "Is everything okay?" Diane hesitated before setting her phone down. "It's over," she said flatly. "He told me he wasn't interested anymore. Said he met someone else." Brooke frowned but stayed silent, giving her space to continue. "I don't understand what I keep doing wrong," Diane said, her voice tightening. "In every relationship, I give everything: time, energy, patience. I invest fully, hoping it'll mean something. And every time it ends the same way. They leave. Or they find someone else." There was a deep tiredness in her voice, the kind that came from disappointment piling up over time. Brooke crossed the room and sat beside her. "Maybe that's the problem," she said gently. "You're always giving more than you're receiving." Diane turned to her. "What does that even mean?" Brooke leaned closer. "It means that a woman knows a man is serious when he puts in effort without being asked. When he shows up, makes plans, provides stability when he actually does something. If a man only gives the bare minimum, it's because he doesn't care enough to give more. You need to stop entertaining men who won't put you first." Diane let out a small, humorless laugh. "That sounds nice, but I don't meet men like that. I always end up with people who barely care. I don't get chosen." Brooke tilted her head. "Then stop waiting to be chosen. Stop letting chance decide your life. If you want better, you go where better is. You make things happen for yourself." She paused before adding, "There's an event coming up. A big one. The city's finest will be there. I'll send you the details." Diane wasn't sure if Brooke was serious, but there was something in her tone, calm and confident, that made it hard to dismiss. The event turned out to be a New Year's Eve gala, one of the most exclusive gatherings of the season. The venue was breathtaking. Towering ceilings, crystal chandeliers, gold-accented decor, and long tables draped in layers of silk. Soft lighting bathed the room in warmth as a live band played nearby. Champagne flowed freely, and the air buzzed with laughter and celebration. Everyone was dressed to impress. The women wore elegant gowns, perfectly styled hair, and jewelry that caught the light with every movement. Their partners sat beside them in tailored suits, confident, polished, composed. It was the kind of night meant to be seen and remembered. Claudia, seated at the center of it all, was in her element. She spoke endlessly about her husband, how he had surprised her with a private getaway just weeks earlier, how he gifted her custom jewelry just because, how he insisted she never worry about money or logistics. The others listened politely, smiling and nodding, offering admiration right on cue. This was familiar territory for Claudia, and she owned it. Conversation drifted, from travel plans to business successes to quiet gossip shared only among trusted company. Glasses clinked, laughter rose and fell. Then the band shifted tempo, and the lights dimmed slightly. It was time to dance. Chairs scraped softly against the floor as couples stood. Claudia turned toward her husband, already reaching for him, only to realize his seat was empty. She scanned the room, confused at first, then irritated. She asked someone nearby, who mentioned seeing him head downstairs. Another guest casually added that he'd been walking toward the parking area. Her irritation sharpened as she made her way down the stairs, heels clicking sharply against the marble. Outside, the noise of the gala faded, replaced by cool night air and a row of luxury cars lined up neatly. She walked over to their car. Looking through the glass, she saw them. Her husband and Brooke. They were seated in front, their arms resting around each other, their posture intimate and unmistakable. Brooke looked comfortable, intentional. Claudia felt the moment settle heavily in her chest. Everything she thought she owned, everything she believed was secure, suddenly felt fragile. At that moment, her husband and Brooke looked up, both frozen as their eyes met hers. Shock flashed across their faces, quickly replaced by awkward fumbling as they disentangled from each other's embrace. Claudia's hand rested on the car door, trembling slightly as she tried to open it, but it was locked. Her mind spun with questions that had no answers. How long had this been going on? Had she missed the signs all along? Or had her husband been careful, meticulous, hiding it behind casual smiles and polite conversations? The cool night air pressed against her skin, mocking the helpless fury and confusion roiling inside her. A hot flush rose to her cheeks, her chest tightening. She could feel the anger building like a storm cloud ready to burst. Claudia's gaze alternated between the two of them, her husband, the man she had trusted, and Brooke, whose comfort beside him now felt like a personal affront. She didn't know when she started banging on the glass, but her fist struck the car door in sharp, desperate rhythm. Her knuckles hurt, but the pain barely registered. She wanted to shatter the calm of the moment, to break through the silence and demand answers. Brooke flinched at each strike, her confident composure unraveling. Her eyes widened, darting nervously between Claudia and the locked car door, as if she could will herself out of the situation. Her lips pressed together tightly, and she swallowed hard, guilt written in every line of her face. A cold wave of reality washed over Claudia. She was outside, powerless to control what had already happened, forced to witness the intimate betrayal in front of her. Her hand loosened on the door, sliding down to her side as tears pricked the corners of her eyes. She blinked rapidly, trying to deny them, trying to hold on to some semblance of the life she had thought unshakable. But the fracture was undeniable, sharp and jagged, spreading through the foundations of everything she had believed. Claudia didn't realize when she started shouting. Her voice rose instinctively, sharp and incredulous, cutting through the quiet hum of the night outside the venue. "Are you out of your mind?" she screamed. "Brooke, you? With my husband? I must be dreaming." She continued screaming, her disbelief and anger spilling out uncontrollably. A few nearby drivers slowed, curiosity pulling their attention toward the commotion. Uneasy glances were exchanged as people near the entrance moved closer to the scene. Claudia's composure, so carefully curated all evening, crumbled in seconds. Her husband rushed out of the car, panic written all over his face. "Claudia, please," he said, reaching for her arm. "Let's talk about this calmly." "Don't touch me," she snapped, jerking away. Her chest heaved as disbelief gave way to humiliation. "You couldn't even wait until the night was over? You embarrassed me. In front of everyone." Brooke sat stiffly in the passenger seat, frozen, her confidence evaporating under the weight of Claudia's fury. She avoided eye contact, her hands clenched tightly in her lap. The raised voices carried upward through the open stairwell, and within minutes, whispers rippled through the gala. People began drifting toward the stairs, eager to witness whatever scandal had interrupted the celebration. That was when Megan, Jade, and Rachel hurried downstairs. They took in the scene instantly, Claudia trembling with rage, her husband apologizing desperately, and Brooke still sitting in the car like a deer caught in headlights. "Claudia, please," Jade said gently, stepping forward. "This isn't the place." Megan glanced toward the stairwell, where silhouettes were already gathering. "People are coming," she warned quietly. "You don't want this to become tomorrow's headline." Rachel turned sharply to Brooke, her patience thin. "Why are you still sitting there?" she demanded. "Leave. Now." That was all Brooke needed. She unlocked the door and bolted, her heels slipping as she ran down the pavement, fear propelling her forward. She didn't look back, only focused on getting as far away as possible before Claudia could break free. Claudia watched her go, shaking with fury. Then she shoved her husband's hands away. "I have nothing to say to you," she said coldly. "You'll hear from my lawyers." With that, she turned on her heel and stormed back toward the building. Megan, Jade, and Rachel followed closely behind, forming a silent wall around her as murmurs erupted among the onlookers. In the weeks that followed, the four women stayed in touch, but only just. They checked in through brief phone calls and text messages, offering quiet support without pressing for details. None of them suggested outings or social gatherings. It felt necessary to step back, to sit with their thoughts, and tend to the fractures in their personal lives before facing the world again. Then one afternoon, Claudia called. Her voice was steadier than it had been in weeks. She told them it was time they met, just the four of them. Whatever was happening in their marriages and relationships, she said, shouldn't be allowed to erode the friendship they had built over the years. They agreed. The next day, they gathered at a fancy restaurant for lunch. Sunlight streamed through tall windows as coffee cups were filled and menus set aside. The conversation naturally turned to Claudia. The last update she'd given them had been brief but decisive. She had filed for divorce, and her legal team was preparing everything necessary to ensure she received what she was rightfully entitled to once it was finalized. But Claudia surprised them all. She took a deep breath and said, "He's been relentless. Apologizing, begging, showing up everywhere just to talk. He admitted everything. No excuses, no blame. He promised me that nothing like this would ever happen again." She told them how he'd cut off all contact with Brooke immediately, opened his phone and social media accounts without hesitation, and even suggested therapy, individual and couples, on his own. He had written her letters, taken responsibility publicly within their family, and stripped himself of the comfort of silence. "I stepped away for a while," Claudia continued. "I needed space to think. And after everything, I've decided to withdraw the divorce petition." The table went quiet. "I've been married a long time," she said softly. "This life, this family, it's all I've known for years. I don't see myself starting from scratch. And I know now that he understands what he stands to lose. He won't dare cross that line again." Megan stared at her in disbelief. "I cannot believe you'd give that man another chance. Of all women, he went after your friend. I could never take that kind of insult." Claudia smiled warmly. "I know. Your standards are so high they're practically off the charts." The tension eased as everyone laughed. "But I'm already too invested to walk away," Claudia added calmly. "And I refuse to let that cheap woman replace me." "And what if Brooke tries again?" Jade asked. "She won't," Claudia replied firmly. "And even if she did, my husband knows exactly what would follow." Rachel scoffed. "I still can't believe she'd go after your husband after how kind you were to her. But then again, if she chased after other married men, why would ours be off limits?" Claudia nodded. Now I understand why you never trusted her. Lesson learned. She glanced around the table, her expression softening. Enough about me. You all looked stunning at the New Year's gala. Picture perfect. Rachel sighed. That's all it was. A picture. Her voice dropped. Joe and I are struggling. I don't think we can fix it. Jade frowned. What's going on? He says he doesn't feel like a man in our marriage, Rachel explained. He thinks I dominate everything, decisions, finances, plans, that my confidence makes him feel small. He wants a woman who lets him lead, who makes him feel needed instead of challenged. But that's who you've always been, Megan said. A natural leader. I guess he thought I'd change, Rachel shrugged. But I can't. I suggest couples counseling, Claudia said softly. It could help you both understand each other better and find some common ground. Rachel scoffed. I suggested the same thing. He said there's nothing wrong with him, that I'm the problem and the one who needs fixing. Jade shook her head. You've done all you can. Exactly, Rachel nodded. The rest will sort itself out. By the way, I was surprised you brought William to the gala. Jade smiled. It felt right. And honestly, I haven't treated him as well as he deserves. He put so much effort into us. She told them about Valentine's Day, how he surprised her with handwritten letters, planned a thoughtful weekend getaway, cooked for her, and made sure every detail reflected how well he knew her. I've been emotionally distant, she admitted, but he still shows up. I want to do better. I want to make him happy too. They all cheered, smiling warmly. Then all eyes turned to Megan. She immediately threw her hands up. Miss me with all that drama. I'm staying single until I meet my perfect match. They laughed, already expecting nothing less. For the first time in a long while, the table felt light again. For women bound not by perfection, but by honesty, resilience, and the understanding that life rarely unfolds the way it looks from the outside. In a different part of the city, Brooke lay stretched out across the living room couch, half watching a show on television, when the front door flung open. Diane rushed in, dragging a large suitcase behind her, her face glowing with unmistakable joy. She looked lighter, happier, like someone who had returned carrying more than just luggage. Brooke shot up instantly. Diane! She squealed, rushing over. You were gone way longer than you said you would be. I'm so happy you're finally back. I'm happy to be back too, Diane said, her smile wide and breathless. And I have great news for you. She lifted her left hand. The diamond caught the light instantly. Brooke froze. Wait, what? She gasped. Is that? Tim asked me to marry him. Diane cried, practically bouncing. I'm engaged. Brooke's hands flew to her mouth. So soon? You literally just met him at the New Year's Eve gala. It's only been a few months. I know, Diane laughed. I couldn't believe it either, until I saw him get down on one knee. Her eyes softened as she replayed the memory. He brought me to a rooftop garden overlooking the city skyline. Twinkling fairy lights hung above us. Lanterns floated in a reflecting pool, and the air smelled of blooming jasmine. Soft music played in the background, and the whole city glittered beneath us like it was ours alone. Diane's voice trembled with wonder. He told me he had never been so certain about anything in his life. Then he knelt down, pulled out the ring, and asked me to spend forever with him. She exhaled shakily. I still feel like I'm dreaming. And that's not even all. Brooke's eyes widened, a warm smile spreading across her face. There's more. Yes, Diane squealed. He asked me to move in with him while we plan the wedding. We're thinking of getting married overseas. Brooke laughed and pulled her into a tight hug. I can't believe this. I'm so happy for you. You truly deserve everything you're getting. Diane hugged her back just as tightly. It's all thanks to you. If it weren't for you, I would have never met Tim. Since we started dating, he's treated me like a princess. After all the heartbreak I went through, I finally feel whole again. I'm so grateful to you, Brooke. Ah, Brooke smiled, blinking. You're going to make me cry. I just can't believe you're moving out and leaving me here all by myself. Nothing will change, Diane said gently. We'll still see each other all the time. Brooke sighed. I don't know. After what happened at the New Year's Eve gala, I'm embarrassed to even show my face outside. Claudia made sure everyone knew who I was. Diane's expression softened. You know what you did was wrong, she said carefully. But I won't judge you. None of us are perfect. She took Brooke's hands. There comes a moment when you have to choose a different direction. That moment is now. You can't undo what happened, but you can correct it. Brooke looked away. I doubt she'll ever forgive me. Maybe she won't, Diane admitted. But apologizing will give you peace. And Brooke, you have to leave this lifestyle behind. Chasing married men only leads to humiliation and pain. What happened with Claudia won't be the last if you don't change. Brooke swallowed, then nodded. You're right. I've been thinking about it too. From now on, I want to live a life worth emulating. Diane smiled and pulled her into a hug. The sun broke through the clouds at just the right moment. Rachel walked out of the courthouse feeling lighter than she had in years. She was officially single. Joe had admitted that separation was the healthiest choice for both of them, and for once Rachel agreed. There were no tears, no bitterness, just clarity. Claudia, Megan, and Jade wrapped her in a tight group hug. Guys, I'm fine, Rachel laughed. Really? This is better for both of us. We don't have to pretend anymore. Then we're celebrating, Claudia declared. Our lives, our growth, and our friendship. Cheers erupted instantly. Oh, hold on, Megan interrupted, pointing toward the courthouse steps. I haven't stopped staring at that lawyer over there. Jade gasped dramatically. Wait, a man caught your eye. I know it sounds strange, Megan admitted with a small laugh. I saw him coming out of the courtroom when we were heading in, and I haven't stopped thinking about him since. And he's still here. She smiled, almost amused by herself. He looks like he carries himself well, Claudia said thoughtfully. Confident, polished, very on brand for you. It took me getting divorced for us to finally see you notice someone who meets your standards, Rachel teased. Megan chuckled. You know what? You're actually right. And this is really not the time for that. Come on, let's go. No way, Rachel said with a grin. Go over there and let him know what's on your mind. After a brief pause, Megan straightened her shoulders and walked over confidently. She called out softly, her voice calm and assured. Excuse me, she said smoothly. Hi, I'm Megan. I noticed you earlier, and you seem like someone I'd like to get to know better. I was wondering if we could exchange numbers and maybe meet up sometime. He smiled politely. Thank you, Megan. I appreciate the compliment, but I'm not interested. I hope you have a good day. With that, he turned and walked away. Megan returned to the group, unimpressed but honest. Perfect. The one man I actually like isn't interested. Claudia slipped an arm around her shoulders. Don't let that bother you. He's just one of many. Rachel nodded. That's right. Men may come and go, but no matter what, we'll never let it break us down. And as long as we have each other, Jade added, we'll always be okay. They pulled into a final embrace, laughing, strong and whole. For women who had learned that life rarely unfolds perfectly, but that growth, friendship, and self-worth always endure. As they finally turned to leave, they carried with them not rejection or regret, but the confidence that whatever came next would meet them on their own terms. The end.